these are two trailblazing companies, both vLex and Fastcase. And although they originate from different parts of the world, we share a common mission, and that is to democratize access to the law. But we also aim to revolutionize how attorneys engage with legal information. And vLex was created in Spain back in 1998 and Fastcase here in the United States in 1999. But from the very beginning, both companies recognized that the law should be accessible to everyone, and not just those with successful practices or deep pockets. And while our mission was aligned, the challenge still remained for us: how could we bring that vision to life? And the answer we found was in bar partnerships, bar associations and a law library partnerships, because that's where the heart of the legal community lies. Whether it's local or state associations, they're really the unifying thread that connects attorneys across the globe. And by partnering with these associations, we found the perfect channel to reach legal professionals everywhere. Now, if you fast forward over 25 years later, we have over 3 million attorneys worldwide with direct access to their country's legal resources thanks to this strategic partnership. And this is actually where you come into the story. Our mission is not just about providing you access. We want to empower you by putting the law directly in your hands. So today I'll invite you to become a part of that journey, a journey that started with a shared vision to democratize the law and continues with you at its center. And speaking of journeys, let's look at the agenda for today's webinar. We will look at how you can log in to the research platform from the social law website. But then once we're into the platform, I'll highlight our resource center, which has all of your helpful information, training materials where you can self-educate and learn how to operate certain features. But then we'll get into searching, both a general search and advanced search, do a deep dive into both of those features so you know how to search for information. Then we'll also cover organizational tools in a few different areas of the platform so you can remain efficient and organized while you're researching. But then we'll also get into a document and on the case level as well. So we'll break down the document level and what tools and tips I'll provide to you on the document level. Now, as far as questions go, feel free to go ahead and pose those in the chat at any time. I will reserve answering questions towards the end of the program just so we can get through a majority of the material. I may cover some information as well that you have questions about during the presentation also. So go ahead and ask those in the chat at any point, and I will do my best to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. So with that, let's go ahead and jump over to the social law webpage here at sociallaw.com. And they've made it very easy to find legal research databases here from the webpage. But my first step would be logging in. So using your social law credentials, just simply log in to the platform. And that way, once you click on the database, you will immediately jump into it. So here under legal research databases, you can find the Fastcase specific database. And once you've logged in, all you have to do is click on that and you'll be directed over to the vLex Fastcase platform. Now we are in a transitional period from Fastcase to vLex Fastcase. And so in that transitional period, you're actually going to, once you've clicked on the vLex Fastcase link here, you're going to populate a message that looks like this one. And this sits over our Fastcase 7 platform, but it's just letting you know, hey, you now have access to the new platform, and here are some features that you may want to explore. And since we're learning today about the new platform, what we're going to do is click on the Access vLex Fastcase button down here at the bottom. So once we click on the Access vLex Fastcase, it will take us to the new platform here. And if it is your very first time logging in, it'll actually ask you to set up an account. So it's going to be a bit of an onboarding process. It takes less than 30 seconds to complete that. Just going to be your name, email address, and a little bit about your practice area. But once you've completed that, you will then land here on the home page, and the Resource Center is actually going to open up on the right-hand side. So here we'll begin the journey with some guided tours to make you a little bit more familiar with how to navigate and start adjusting your account settings to you specifically. And we will be covering these guided tours, most of the information here in the guided tour section throughout the presentation today. So if you feel confident that you're able to navigate these different sections here, you don't have to complete those. You can easily just dismiss checklist at the very bottom here. Now, under the checklist, we have a new feature that we've added to our resource center where you can find all of our content and where that lies across the globe. It's going to open up a new tab, and you can now explore any of the different countries and continents we have data out of. Specifically, if you're wanting to find U.S. content, you can explore all of the U.S. content that we offer through this section. Now, some additional guided tours. So in addition to these few that have been listed at the top, we have a few others that you can access and navigate through the guided tours. But then, in my opinion, one of the best ways to self-learn and get the most out of the platform is going to be by reviewing our knowledge base website. So if we click on knowledge base here, it's actually going to allow you to search right in the platform here, right in the resource center. So for an example, maybe we were looking to learn more about advanced searching. What we can do is just generally use the search bar here at the top of this section to search for whatever feature we want to learn more about. And then we found a matching article. We can click on that. And again, that's going to open the resource center, or open the knowledge base website where we can review that in detail. So we'll have some written information, as well as some screenshots, some clips, and even at the very bottom of this page, we have a video walkthrough. So a great way to start searching and learning how to generally navigate the features of the platform. Now, over on the left-hand side, once you're in the knowledge base, which you can also just generally access at support.vlex.com, you can review any of the table of contents material, any of the features that we offer, document information, features, as well as support information. So great resource here for you to rely on and explore. Now, underneath our knowledge base, we have some training sessions. So in addition to the training sessions that we are on today, we will also be providing some general overview webinars, which is very similar to the format of today's webinar. But if you wanted to join us again for another session in the future, you can register directly through our resource center here by clicking register here. And we're also offering an advanced searching webinar. This is going to be a little bit shorter format. It's going to be targeted to efficiently improving your search techniques in the new platform. But then lastly, we are offering an informational webinar to show you how you can upgrade your account plan based off of what you currently have access to. So if you're interested in exploring, adding additional content like briefs, pleadings, motions, and order content, or you want to learn more about Vincent AI, you can certainly join us for one of these webinars and learn more about those. Now, under training sessions, we have our video tutorials, and these are the ones that are linked up at the top are just introductory videos, just to help you get started in the platform. But if you come down here, we have all of our quick start videos, which cover a lot of different features of the platform, and as well as all of our vLex videos if you wanted to find anything else that we've recorded and made available to the public. Now, lastly, in the resource center here, I did want to cover the contact information. So you can give us an email to our support team. You can click on the envelope here, and you'll have the ability to copy this email address and put that into your email search engine. And it's just helpdesk-us@vlex.com. I will again be providing that at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support team directly or to myself. Now, one additional way you can actually get in contact with us and pose questions about how to navigate and find things in the platform is through our chat feature. So we have a bit of a mix of a chat, AI chat, and our support team who answers questions in this chat. So if our AI assistant can answer the question, it will provide an answer to your question. However, if it cannot answer your question, it will send it to our support team members so we can then log into the conversation and address any questions you may have. So that does cover the resource center here. And again, just going to start with some guided tours to help kick off your journey in the new platform. And then additional guided tours and other resources here at the bottom for you to find helpful information and find help whenever you need it. So we'll go ahead and minimize that for now and move into the general platform here. And we'll begin our tour with some consistent features that will remain present no matter what page you navigate to in the new platform. And that's going to be our navigational menu here on the left-hand side and our top bar. So this information will start just by generally covering what these are, and then I'll go into further detail on these later on in the presentation. We're currently on the home page here. You can see it's kind of highlighting where you are, what section of the platform you're in. Underneath that is our Vincent AI tool. And although the Vincent AI tool is not included in your plan level, it is a very powerful tool, and we're actually offering a free trial of that if you wanted to check that out as well. Now, under Vincent AI, we have our advanced search feature, and this is a form fill search, so great way to get very granular with your research and find that specific material and filter information. Then browse. So browsing is quite easy in the platform here. You just click on browse. It'll open up our browse menu where you can then continue to search by either jurisdiction or jump right into our content library here. But maybe we were looking for Massachusetts statutes specifically. We can go to browse by jurisdiction and go to Massachusetts here and then statutes. And as you'll notice, I'm just generally filtering down into the respective sections of the browse category. Now, at a certain point, you will come to the end of the browsing road. And instead of having the arrows that we've seen, we go back here, instead of the arrows that you'll notice, you'll get to a point where you'll see this icon. And this icon just means that you will then be directed straight into the document level or to a list of documents that falls under this criteria or this code section. So for an example, we can click into here and you'll notice it takes us straight into that section. But if we wanted to continue browsing, all you have to do is click the back button on your browser, and then you can continue browsing into respective sections. Now you can also just generally browse for any of our content as well. We started by browsing by jurisdiction, but you can also browse for secondary materials through books and journals, and even we have some forms available too. Now going back to the home page here, under our browse section, we have our folders category, and this is where our organizational tools live, where we can go to find saved materials and just stay efficient with our research. So we'll cover that a little bit later on in the presentation.
Hello.
And then we've got a help button here. So similar to our resource center, we've got our link to our knowledge base website. We've also have the ability to allow you to send your feedback to us in a feedback survey. And then lastly, we have our help desk email here. So you can copy that and then paste it to your email engine. And then at the bottom, we've got our reminder here that you're receiving access to this platform because of your membership with the Social Law Library. And then the plan level, which is Social Law Library Access. And this provides you access to all 50 states materials and federal materials as well. So, and primary materials, so cases, statutes, regulations, etc. Now, now that we've covered the navigational menu here, Moving into the top bar, we'll click on our history icon here. You can easily jump right back into any content you were exploring or looking for. Very helpful if you've got to pause what you're doing and you attend a hearing or deposition, whatever it may be. You can come back into the platform here, click on your history icon, find the date and timestamp, and jump right back into either the document level, which you can see this one will allow me to jump right back to the statute we were reviewing, or into a list of search results as well. And then next to our history icon is our general search bar. So if you're familiar with Fastcase 7, it has moved from the middle of the screen now to the top of the page, but it works very similarly. So you're going to be able to search for case names here. You'll be able to search for statutes, citations, and also just general language searching. And even use advanced operators or Boolean operators here to search through the general search bar as well. And I'll provide a little bit of an example in just a moment, but we'll continue on. So the general search, next to the general search, we have our jurisdictional selector. An important aspect of your research, you want to make sure you're searching within the correct jurisdiction. So if we click on that, it is going to, if it is your first time logging in, it will default to United States. Now, maybe you only practice in Massachusetts or a specific state. You can select whatever jurisdiction you want to search within by checking the box next to that. And then you can either apply and save that as a default jurisdiction so that anytime you run a search, you'll search within that jurisdiction you have selected, or just select it as a one-off search as well by hitting apply. Now, another tip here, you can include related federal content. So maybe we wanted to search for not only Massachusetts legal information, but we can also include our related federal content, which you'll notice it has selected the appellate circuit and even the federal courts as well. But for our example today, we're just going to select the Massachusetts jurisdiction here. And what we'll do, instead of applying that as our default, we'll just hit apply as a one-off search. So now we've gone from the United States in its entirety to just the Massachusetts jurisdiction. So anything we search here will populate from within the Massachusetts jurisdiction. Now, next to our jurisdictional menu is our search icon. Very easy to use your mouse to click on this icon to run your search. However, you can also use the enter button on your keyboard after you've typed in information in the general search bar as well. Then another Vincent AI button here, same as this one on the navigational menu, just going to take you to the Vincent AI tool. But then we've got our account drop-down menu. So all the way in the top right corner here, we've got the little human icon. If we click on that, you can expand the menu, which will allow you to adjust your language settings, manage your account generally. You can also manage your alerts through this section, and I will show you how you can create search alerts so you can receive an email anytime a specific criteria is met and new material is added to our platform that falls under that criteria. You'll receive an email. But then we've also provided an added level of security to the platform here, so you can stop history tracking. So for example, we maybe didn't want to track any of the information we were searching for a particular session. You can stop tracking that information if you'd like. Then just our terms and conditions and privacy policy here for your review, and the ability to return to Fastcase 7. Now, with that said, I did want to mention that although you can return to Fastcase 7, we will be sunsetting that platform in the future. We don't have a set date on when that will be just yet, but all of you who are joined today, you're taking a step ahead. You're learning the new platform, so whenever that date does arrive, you'll be well prepared to navigate in the vLex Fastcase platform. So now that we've covered the navigational menu and the top bar here, I wanted to jump into the home page. So now we are going to start breaking down the information you can see in the middle of the screen, starting with our card section up at the very top. And this section just allows us to provide you with some helpful materials and notes. For example, we're offering a free trial to you for Vincent AI. So if there's any free trials or information that we're offering, we want to make you aware of that here. But then also we have a tool that is included in your plan, and anyone who has a Microsoft Word account can use the vLex for Word plugin tool. And this is very helpful if you're using Word to draft your legal documents. You can reference, cite to specific cases or citations, statutes. And if you do in the Word document, the plugin tool will recognize that and allow you to click through that link on your Word document straight to the vLex Fastcase platform here. And that allows you to continue browsing through that case or whatever you've cited to. And this also may be helpful if someone else has sent you a Word document that references to citations you're not familiar with. So you can go into that case or material and further explore that and educate yourself on that topic. Now, underneath our card section, this is a personalization feature of the platform. We've provided a personalized newsfeed here. And we've got these hashtags here, which we refer to them as smart topics, but they're very similar to hashtags you would see on social media. If you click on any of these smart topics, they'll take you to a list of news that falls under that specific jurisdiction or practice area. Now, to add your specific practice areas or other jurisdictions that you may want to stay up to date on, you can click Edit Your vLex here. That's going to open up our Smart Topics menu. And from here, we can add certain states, jurisdictions. We can also search for practice areas. So maybe we're interested in patent law or environmental law. We can easily just search for those and then use the sliders to add them to our Smart Topics categories. Now you can also receive daily and weekly email digests of that news information if you wish, but you can also turn those off. Just make sure when you've adjusted your preferences here that you click Update down at the bottom. All right, so now that we've covered the home page here, let's go ahead and start to get into some searching in the platform. So what we can do is begin searching with our general search bar up at the top. And I'm going to begin with a very broad search term and search terms. And then I'll show you how you can actually filter the results down into specific sections and get a little bit more specific with your research. So with the general search bar, I'm just going to go ahead and type some information in here. And as you'll notice, as I'm typing, it is providing me with some suggested searches or some suggested documents based off of what we've entered. Now, if you click anything under the suggested searches section, that's going to take you to our results page that falls under this topic. Now, you can also, as I mentioned, go straight to the document level if something is, if it fits within your search criteria and it's exactly what you're looking for, you can jump right to the document level rather than going to the search results page. But I don't see what I'm looking for exactly, so I'm going to continue typing here. And we are just going to search very broadly statute of limitations under the Massachusetts jurisdiction and see what type of results we can return. So firstly, I wanted to just let you know we are now on the search results page. And up at the very top of this page, we have the total number of results that have been returned based off of the general search that we've done. Yeah, 11,614 results is quite a lot of results and more than I would have liked to go through when I'm searching for content in the platform. So let's start to highlight how you can narrow this content down a little bit. So we can also add additional terms to our search string. You can do that just by adding additional terms in the general search bar. And if you're not using any sort of operator or Boolean operator or advanced operator here, you're just adding terms, it will act like it's an and search. So if we wanted to add asbestos here, that would also just include an additional term to that would be a relevant result in our search results here. But rather than typing it in the general search bar, what we can do is now continue to search within the results that we've already populated. So rather than searching from the top of the general search bar, we can also add additional terms to just filter within the results we've already populated. So if we add asbestos here to our statute of limitations search, that's going to filter down. And so we've drastically reduced our search results from over 11,000 to now just over 200 results. You can continue to add additional terms. And if you're not using any sort of advanced operator or Boolean operator here, as I mentioned, it will just operate like an AND search. So any of these terms that have been entered here will be, as long as they're populated at least once in the document, it will return as a relevant result. Now, continuing on with filtering in the results page, you can filter into different content libraries. So we have, for example, maybe we're only looking for cases here that are related to our search, or statutes, or even secondary materials as well. And since we have cases selected currently, out of these 59 cases, we can also add the specific court. So if we were looking to search within one court in particular to pull information out of, you can add that here. But even further than that, you can add cited authorities to that cite to the cases that you're populating as well. And then I wanted to highlight here, you also have the ability to adjust your jurisdiction on this left-hand side if you did not correctly adjust that in the jurisdictional menu, or if you just wanted to change that for any reason while you're browsing, you can easily just select more jurisdictions. And then you have the ability to expand that if you wanted to include related federal content, or maybe just the appellate circuit individually, you can certainly do so. Now, lastly, I wanted to highlight here on the search results on the left-hand side, you can adjust your date range that you're searching for information in. You can use the sliders down at the bottom, or you can also click on the search for exact date, and that'll allow you to enter in an exact date you want to search for cases or other materials, or a range of dates.
We should look at this.
Now you can also, so we started our search from the general search bar, right? And if we wanted to, rather than starting from scratch in the advanced search page, what we can do is take our general search that we've already started on and transition that over to the advanced search page. So rather than clicking the icon here for advanced search, what we can do is scroll down to the very bottom of this page here and click on the more search options in advanced search. What that allows us to do, as I mentioned, it will take that search we've already started on and migrate that into the advanced search page. So now that we're in the advanced search tool, you'll notice it says it at the top and then highlights it here for you. But again, we're asking the jurisdiction. We want to make sure you have the correct jurisdiction selected. And then we also have the content libraries that you can choose between. So we've got some cases, statutes, and other different sections that you can select. And I'm going to skip over the word section for just one moment here. But since we have cases highlighted, you'll notice at the very bottom, we have a few key criteria sections where we can enter the date, if we have the case name, the court. Again, you can search for the court you want to search within. And this is going to be limited based off of the jurisdiction you have selected. So it's only going to find Massachusetts specific courts here if you have Massachusetts selected. And you'll notice other few criteria that we can enter and filter our search results as well. Now, if we change from cases to statutes, I wanted to mention that this will adjust this section. So it will change that depending on what type of content library you have selected. And these can change over time, so don't feel like you have to enter, or excuse me, just wanted to mention these will change over time, but these will also are not required. So don't feel like you have to enter any information into these sections to run your search. You can easily just search for general information without entering specific data here. And as a matter of fact, if you just wanted to pull up the most recent cases that fall under the Massachusetts jurisdiction that have been added to our platform here, Without entering any sort of words information, we can just select Massachusetts and cases and then run a search. And we've got up to February 19th. So we're constantly adding new cases here, but you can reference the most recent cases by running that search from the advanced search page. You can actually filter this as well. So if you wanted to filter that by the oldest or the most cited information, you can certainly do so. Now, moving back to our advanced search page here, I wanted to highlight, we're going to keep it on cases, but then I'm going to break down the words categories here. Now, for all the words, this is going to operate the same as if you were using the general search bar. It's an and search. So for our statute of limitations search, it would be searching for the word statute and the word limitations. And as long as those terms are used somewhere in the document, it will populate as a relevant result. Now, maybe we're looking to get even more specific than that. We can use the exact phrase search if we know an exact phrase that we want to find in the platform. You can enter that exactly how it should be phrased out here in the document to help you find that content. But then we can also use the words and proximity section. So maybe we wanted to find nearby terms, such as wrongful death. This will allow you to search for these terms, either 20 terms before or after the exact phrase that we already have entered here. Or if you don't have anything entered into this, it will also just allow you to add certain terms to make sure they're in proximity with each other. Now, for any word, this is an or search, so great for synonyms. You're not sure which term is being used in a document to describe a certain aspect. You can use the terms here so that you're not filtering or missing out on any information that may be relevant. So for our example, gun or firearm, whatever is used here, will be able to be populated as a relevant search result. Now, under any word here, we have an exclusionary search, so none of the words. This is great for omitting specific terms from populating in our search results. So maybe you just weren't interested in having anything to do with torts from populating, but you wanted to include the exact phrase statute of limitations. That would omit any search results that have the word tort referenced there. Now, for the last section here, the advanced operators, I wanted to highlight that you can use, you can generally type in advanced operators here once you've identified those. And to identify what operators are usable in the platform, you can hover your mouse over the question mark here and see all of the different operators. So great little cheat sheet for you. You can structure, advanced operator strings to make sure you're finding exactly what you're looking for there. And you can type those in the advanced operator section. Now you can also use any of these in the general search bar as well. Just make sure you're capitalizing them and using them how they appear in this section. Now, if I didn't do a good enough job explaining these different word searches, you can hover your mouse over the question marks here at any point to find out more about how to use them. And before we jump back into the search results page, I wanted to highlight that you can save a search string as an alert. So as I mentioned earlier, you can save search alerts. And to do that from the advanced search page, you can click on the Save as an Alert button here at the bottom. And apologies, you can't see that because of our Get Started button here, but this says Save as an Alert. And if we click on that, it will turn green and let us know that alert has now been saved. And we can go back to our account drop-down menu. If you recall from earlier in our training, we have the ability to manage our alerts here. So here we can now, from the Manager Alerts page, we have the ability to find all of the search alerts that we've created with the description of that search, the jurisdiction we have selected, the content library, when that was created, and a couple of other fields that you can adjust to your specific preference. Now, to edit this at any point, point, once you've created it, you can come into the search alerts page here and click on edit, the little pencil and paper. And that'll allow you to add additional information here, but then also adjust the frequency, and also allows you to pause these if you want to, and include any historical results as well. And then if you just generally didn't want to receive alerts anymore, you can just hit the delete button next to the edit button here, which is the recycling bin, and that will remove it from your search alerts page. We'll go ahead and jump back into our search here, make sure we have the correct jurisdiction selected, and then let's go ahead and search for statute of limitations exactly phrased. But then I also want to find wrongful death somewhere nearby. Save my jurisdiction, so apologies here. And again, all you have to do is go to the specific jurisdiction and select that and apply, and then it'll filter. So pretty good. We're at 99 results here. And I also wanted to mention, since we are searching within proximity, it allows us to search up to 20 terms either before or after, but we can also limit this as well. So if you wanted to search within less than 20 terms, you can, next to the brackets, what you can do is use the backslash button and then a number 1 through 20 to narrow your results down a little bit further. But you'll notice this is exactly how the advanced operators would be entered if you wanted to run that from the advanced operators section. Now, next to the number of results at the top of the search results page, you have a few tools here that I wanted to highlight. So you have the ability to visualize the top 50 results. You also have the ability to add documents to a folder here. You can select which documents you wanted to add to a folder by clicking the checkbox next to the document and then clicking your add to folder here. And you'll notice you have, if you already have a folder created, you can add those to them or create a new folder and even choose to create a subfolder on any of the folders you already have created as well. Now, in addition to the search alerts that you can create from the advanced search page, you can also create the alert right here from the search results as well. And then you have the ability to download also, so you can download the selected results that you've chosen, or you can also download the top 50 results. And not only can you download the full documents here, you can choose to download just the search listings. So this may be helpful if you're working with someone else. You want to send a list of cases or documents to get started on a specific topic. You can choose to use the search listings here. Now, as I've already mentioned, you can also sort by a few different ways. It will default to relevance when you run your search, but you can, again, change this to the most recent information, the oldest information, and even the most cited information as well. Now, getting into our cases here, I wanted to highlight that next to the case name, there is a search citator tool. If there's any sort of treatment type that is known for that case. And here we can see there's a few different types. We've got yellow, which is positive. So if a case has been considered distinguished, it'll show you where that case was distinguished. The cited in information, so any of the cases that are citing to the case that we have here. And then the last time that was cited to. So yellow is our positive, that's distinguished, but then we also have our negative treatment as well. So here we can see we've got a red indicator, and it lets us know this case has been abrogated, and it also could be overruled or vacated or reversed. But again, you can expand this to find more details on that search citation to let you know where that was abrogated, again, the cases that are citing to that, and the last time it was cited to. Now, one other treatment type is an orange treatment type, and I'll see if we have any examples in this list here. look like it. So just as an explainer for the orange treatment type, those are going to be questioned treatments. So if you see an orange indicator, it would then be followed by some sort of question descriptor, like a case was criticized or disagreed with, or someone has declined to follow that opinion. And now let's go ahead and jump into the case level here. We'll take a look at the Gaudet v. Webb case. And I wanted to also mention that we are aware of the mislabeling of the court. So we are working, I've already tasked my team with updating that. Apologies for the mislabeling here, but we are working to adjust that so it'll be reflected accurately very soon. But now that we are on the document level here, I wanted to highlight that you can search in this document. So similarly to the search and results page, from the results page, you can search within those results. You can also search within this document. So very helpful if you've got a rather large document, you're only interested in specific terms that you want to find and populate. You can easily search for those here. So maybe we're only looking for limitations. You can search and find all of the times that that term has been used throughout the document. And we provide you with the paragraph that it's in so you can read that in context and then even jump right to where that is in the passage and continue reading if you'd like to. Now, under the search in this document, you also have the ability to jump right to specific sections. So you wanted to jump to the opinion, you can jump right into the opinion here and just generally navigate to the different sections. Now, moving into the middle of the page here where all of our main content lives, I wanted to begin up at the very top of the document level. So here we've provided the decision date, the party's information, the citation, and the court as well. And we also have parallel citations here, but you can easily click and copy those to your clipboard. Now, underneath this top section here is our case analysis section. And the case analysis tool is powered by our Vincent AI tool. And we're harnessing just the ability for the AI to review that case's text and then summarize what the specific key aspects are. So the legal issue, what's the legal issue being discussed here? What are some head notes from this document? What are the key paragraphs and key phrases? And this is just a great time saver because it allows you to review the case analysis to quickly determine whether you want to explore that case further, or you may want to jump into a new case that better fits that information you're looking for. I also wanted to highlight here, you can turn on and off the key paragraphs. You'll notice there's a few different blue shaded bars over on the right-hand side of my screen that if I turn these off, they'll disappear. But if you click on them again, they'll reappear, and make sure you have that checked if you wanted to highlight key paragraphs. And what that allows you to do is find specific passages from within this document that have been cited to quite often. And the darker the color blue, the more times that specific passage has been cited. So we can jump to this section. We've got a very dark blue highlight here represented by our dark blue bar on the right-hand side, which allows us to actually find, you can see this actually is a clickable link. And what that does is pull up subsequent quotations that cite to that paragraph. So if you find a paragraph or passage that really resonates with you and maybe fits your research, you can expand your research and find other cases that are citing to it and how they're citing to that as well. Now, getting into the organizational tools here, you'll notice that this is a different color blue section, or it's kind of a turquoise bluish green color that this is marking an internal highlight. So anything that you've made a highlight on or made a note on, it will be this color. Let's say we wanted to make a new note or a new highlight here. We can use our mouse, just left click and drag over this section of text. And then you'll notice you pop this window pops up here and asks you what would you like to do. Would you like to make a highlight here? Would you like to make any notes? Would you copy with the citation? And as you just saw, once we've highlighted or made a note in a specific document, you'll see all of the highlights and notes living on the left-hand side underneath your table of contents. So you can easily navigate to your notes and highlights from within a document by going to the bottom left-hand side here. All right, so I wanted to highlight a few tools. You do have a few tools on the document level. Starting up here at the very top, you can save documents as favorites. You'll notice this one's actually already been saved as a favorite, but if it wasn't, it would be similar as these where they're kind of gray. But since I already have this one saved, it's marked with a blue indicator. But then you can also add the documents to your any folders that you've already created right from the document level here as well. And then printing, we have recently deployed the ability to print in dual column format, which was a very popular feature on Fastcase 7. It is now available on vLex Fastcase here. So if you wanted to print the document, you could hit print here and then select the format to dual column and even include highlights and notes in the index as well. And sharing, you can generally share via email. You can copy a link to a public page if you wanted to send that to a client or someone else who may not have access to the vLex Fastcase platform. And then just downloading, generally you can download to Word or PDF format as well. Now I also wanted to cover the middle section here, and you'll notice we have been highlighted on the document section, but we can click the cited authorities here to find any case law or if there was any legislation that was being cited in our case, it would also be listed here. We split those two into different sections. So you have legislation and case law you can review as your cited authorities. But then we also have cited in information. So any of those cases that are citing to the Gaudet v. Webb case, you have the ability to review those cases as well. Then our precedent map here, it's just taking these two properties and putting them into a visual representation for you. So you can see kind of how things are citing to one another and how they connect to one another. And just to explain this to you so you know what you're looking at here if you wanted to explore this in the future, the blue center circle, this represents our case that we're on. So the Gaudet v. Webb case here. And that means anything on the inside of this circle is going to be our cited authorities. So those 34 cited authorities that have been referenced in the Gaudet v. Webb case here. And then we can click on these. As I mentioned, you can see exactly how they're citing to one another, or if they're citing at all to any other cases that are cited authorities or cited in. And so anything on the outside is going to be our cited in information. So any of those cases that are citing to the case that we're on. Now, lastly here, I wanted to highlight our related tab because you do have the ability to find related content to this specific document. And this is another example of how we're harnessing the powers of our Vincent AI tool to provide suggested reading materials and suggested documents that may fit within this, what the legal issue that's being discussed in this case is. So again, just provides you with a list of similar cases or documents that may be relevant to the Gaudet v. Webb case. All right, so that was the general overview of the vLex Fastcase platform. And actually, I apologize. Let's go to folders here quickly before we get into some questions. I know we started a little bit late, so hopefully it's okay if we run over just a few minutes. I want to be respectful of everyone's time here. But so in the favorites or in the folder section, we do have the ability to access our favorites. So any of those documents that we favorited, specifically if we cite to a document quite often, I would recommend saving that as a favorite so you can easily jump right to it rather than searching for it every time here. And then documents with marks. So we've also provided you a list of any documents that you've made notes on. So you can reference those and jump right back to them as well. And then any folders you've created or subfolders within those, you can use the arrow here to the right to create more subfolders, rename it, or even delete that. But then you can also delete specific documents out of folders if you don't want them in there anymore. Those will move to your trash folder. And then maybe you wanted to recycle that back into the folder, you mistakenly deleted it. Just select the title and use the recycle button here to move that back into the folder it was in. All right, so with that, I'll go back to our slideshow here, and I'm going to highlight our contact information so you can find ways to get in contact with us. As I mentioned, we want to hear from you if you have any questions or concerns. But generally, if you wanted to upgrade to specific content that I briefly highlighted here, please reach out to our sales team. I'd be also happy to answer any questions you may have regarding operating and navigating in the vLex Fastcase platform. And so feel free to reach out to me at any point.